Welcome to the Vibius channel on the internet. Today I'm going to be reviewing the top 5 most popular mobile life simulators. All of us have played Bitlife since it by far is the most popular, but no one has gone in depth to see which one has the most features, the easiest to play, the best UI, the best reward system, etc. to see which one is actually the best. Okay, so this first game I'm going to be reviewing is Life Simulator 3. It is exclusive to Android, so sorry iOS users, but in this one it is actually an idle game. So out of all the life simulators out there, this one is the only one that truly simulates basically everything. As you can see in the top right corner, the time goes on as I don't do anything. You could leave your phone asleep. You don't have to be in the app for you to make progress in the game. Some unique features include this stock market. You could just buy shares and then they give you income over time. The more money you invest, the more money you will get back. Also with the vlogger job, it just automatically uploads videos for you, so you don't have to constantly come in there and just upload videos over and over again like we see in a lot of other life simulators. But some people might not like the fact that you do really just sit there sometimes and just wait for things to happen and simulate and make more money and stuff. But honestly, I don't think it's too bad because there are yo, did I just have triplets? Yo, I just had triplets. That's crazy. So now that my character had triplets, I have to buy enough food for them as well as the appropriate health insurance. But as I was saying with the idleness of the game, I don't think it's too bad because there are so many different things that you can upgrade in the game. You can upgrade your job as you work up and get promotions. You can also increase your education and select your business. I'm constantly working with this one to buy more stocks, or with the vlogger job, make more videos, increase your video budget, and manage your relationships and buy more rental properties and manage your social life. It's going to cost me $600 to socialize every day, and that's going to give you more followers. So I counted 83 features in total out of all the life simulator games that are possible, and this game scored a 41 out of 83. Anyways, now on to the 5 different categories. First up is the ad intrusion rating. So a 3 out of 3 would be a great score. So this game gets a 3 out of 3 because as you play the game, no ads show up ever, even if you're not in airplane mode. The only time you watch ads in this game is when you want to speed up time or get other rewards. So all of the ads are completely optional, so this gets an ad intrusion rating of 3 out of 3. Now, next up is the paywall rating. Is anything in this game behind a paywall? And the answer is no. So if we go to the settings, you will see that there are microtransactions. The most expensive one here is $25, but none of these grant you anything new in the game. They only help you progress in the game further. So for that reason, this game gets a perfect 3 out of 3 paywall rating. The next category is ease of play, and this one is going to get a 2 out of 3 in this category because it is heavily focused on finance management, and not a lot of people, especially younger people, probably don't care about managing finances, but someone like me really enjoys it. So it was easy for me to pick up, but if you don't really know a whole lot about like managing a budget, then you're probably not going to have too much fun with this game. So it is a 2 out of 3, but it's good to learn if you are new to this sort of thing. Next category is the reward system. So how good is this game at rewarding you for playing the game? I would say that it gets a 2 out of 3 because whenever you go to these shops, like let's say you want to buy planes, you will unlock more content if you prestige more times. So by playing the game more, you do get rewards, but it is kind of hard to get these because level 8 prestige is kind of crazy. I'm at prestige 1, so it would take a little while to get those rewards, but there is at least a reward system in this game. Now, last category is the user interface, and I have to give this a 3 out of 3 because everything is super simple, super easy to find, and none of the menus feel too big. Everything just feels perfect, honestly, in this game. And there are barely any bugs as well. So the final score of this game is a 54 out of 98. One final apology to the iOS users because this next game is also only on Android. Let's start off with the feature count. This one has a total of 38 features, and that makes sense because part of this game does feel very tad bit incomplete. Like whenever you go to school, like all that's here is the option to study harder. You can't really meet people at school and see your classmates, so there's just a little things like that that add up to make it a little less immersive. But there are some things in this game that aren't in some other life simulators. Like whenever you head over to real estate and market, you have the option to sublet a house. So this is basically just renting out a property. So I have this game as marked as including the real estate updates because you can do a lot with real estate in this game. The only thing you can't do is I think renovate houses, but there are some things in this game that no other life simulator does. So let's just go go over to the shop real quick. I gotta show you guys something really cool. So if you want to buy electronics, you can buy a smartphone or a computer. And when you own a smartphone, you basically have this in-game cell phone, and there are apps on this phone such as InstaFame. Let's just see what I've already done in here. I have my own InstaFame profile, and you could even post pictures, you could customize the pictures, and even add captions. So clearly, out of all the life simulator games, this one has the most in-depth Instagram simulation. Also, another app within this in-game cell phone is the crypto trader. You can come in here and look at all these different cryptocurrencies, and when you click on one, you can actually see the chart. And let's just buy some real quick. Let's buy Max. And after a few seconds, it will change the same way that it does in real life. And since we just made $700, I'm good with that. I'm gonna sell all of it. Oh wait, I don't have career points. So yeah, you need some more career points to do a lot of trades every year. There's also YouTube in this game. But yeah, that crypto trader app and the InstaFame are by far the most unique things in this game. So it's definitely worth a shot if you're on Android, of course. Anyway, so far it has 38 points. So let's head on over to the categories. First up, ad intrusion rating is going to be a 2 out of 3 because ads do occasionally play randomly. But if you put your device on airplane mode, it should not be a problem. So 2 out of 3. Next up is the paywall rating. So this one is also going to be a 2 out of 3. It's not as good as Life Simulator 3 because Life Simulator 3 doesn't unlock anything new, whereas in this game, let's just go to the real estate. You will see that if you want to buy commercial properties, you only have the garage option without premium. So it's good that you can still have commercial properties without premium, but you do need to buy a microtransaction if you want to unlock everything. So it's not as bad as something like Bitlife where you have to buy things to unlock entire features, but there are some things, very minor things, that are locked behind microtransactions. And there is also a $40 microtransaction to unlock all of the perks. Honestly, some of these perks are pretty good, but these prices are just absolutely insane. $20 to resurrect yourself or your pets, only 1 use per life. I don't even think Bitlife would go that far, but like I said, none of these perks are really needed in the game. You can play the full game, or at least most of the full game, without buying anything. So 2 out of 3 paywall rating. Next up is the ease of play, and this is going to, oh my goodness, definitely a 3 out of 3. Everything feels super intuitive and anyone can play this game. It doesn't really have a focus on one thing. You can play however you like. Anyways, on to the next category. The reward system is going to get a 2 out of 3 because there's not much rewards you can get just by playing the game. But, you know, I think when you watch some ads, maybe you can watch ads for 25 coins and you can get this youth potion or death scythe. Those are some paid features that you could possibly get for free. But like I said, I don't think those features would be worth it for 550 coins when one ad is only 25 coins. I wish these challenges gave you things for completing them, but the fact that there is at least some type of reward in this game keeps it from a 1 out of 3 rating. Anyways, last rating of the 5 is the user interface, and that is going to be a clear and obvious 3 out of 3. Everything is super smooth, super easy to play. You know where all the buttons are. It becomes muscle memory after a while. It is overall a great design. So with a total of 38 features and 12 out of 15 possible points on the categories, it gets 50 points. That is 4 points less than Life Simulator 3. But again, that is an idle game and a lot of the features aren't too interactive, so you might have more fun playing this one. The amount of fun you have is subjective though, so just play all the games on this list and see which one you like best. Anyways, the next game we're looking at today is of course another Life Simulator. This one has the lowest feature counts on this list with only a 33 out of 83. But I'll tell you what guys, the features that this game does have aren't on any of the other Life Simulators and work super well. For example, you can become a CEO and run a business in this game. I made a video on it and it is super fun to play. You can also run your own crime organization. Yes, I said it. You can run your own crime organization. You could run missions. You can recruit more members. I know a lot of you have been requesting to do some droog deals in Bitlife. So here's this top mission here. Super hard to do. You need 100% rating on your droog efficiency and yeah, 93 million reward. So a summary of all the features is that there's not many, but the ones that it does have are absolutely amazing. I'm interested to see what they have in store for the future because right now they only have 4 main careers you can go for that are most of the fun in this game, but still fun nonetheless. Anyways, on to the categories. This one's going to get a 2 out of 3 on the ad intrusion rating because there are ads in this game. As you can see at the bottom, there is a banner for ads, but it's not going to get a 1 out of 3 because you can just turn on airplane mode and boom, the ads are gone. Onto the paywall rating, this one is going to get a 3 out of 3 because there is absolutely nothing in this game that you can't get for free. There are some microtransactions, but you can get get more life points in the game by simply playing the game or watching ads. Next up, onto the ease of play. This one is going to get a 3 out of 3 because it is super simple. There's a lot of different options and nothing is quite too challenging in this game. It's just overall a lot of fun. Next up is the reward system. This is going to be the only game with a perfect 3 out of 3 reward system. So if you head on over to the achievements, you get life points for completing each achievement. And if you want to unlock a career path, there are a specific 2 achievements that you have to get in order to unlock that career path. So the more you play the game, the more stuff you unlock in the game. This is literally a perfect reward system. They couldn't have done it better. Next up, the UI is also a 3 out of 3. It has a super clean design. All the buttons here on the right side just fit perfectly. And it's also a breath of fresh air from the typical Bitlife copycat design. So with a final score of 47, it so far is in last place. Oh crap, 5% battery, are you kidding me? But that does not mean that it is the worst. There are some things in this game that are extremely exciting. I can't wait for this game to get more updates. Possibly even more excited than the other games on this list, since we can already see how creative they're going with all these career paths and doing things that people have requested. So that's awesome. Now the next game on this list is Realistic Life Simulator. By the way, I know all these names can be confusing sometimes. Some of them don't have the greatest names, so I will have all of these games linked in the description, iOS and Android. First up, with the feature count, this one has the highest so far at 43. There is an unbelievable amount of options in this game to live your life. You can even go to space. That is also one of the completely unique features to this game. I don't see that in anything else. You manage your subscriptions, you know, gym memberships, all that stuff. You can learn certain skills like home chef. It costs a little bit of money to work on your cooking skills and whatnot. You can learn foreign languages. Like if you wanted to go to Japan, you would have to learn Japanese. And for careers, there are a bunch of side hustles like app developer, YouTube star, DJ, author, actor, as well as a whole bunch of different types of businesses and crime as well, including hitman, hacking, burglary, drug deal, and robbery. I'm gonna rob this 99-cent store real quick. Let's do that. And all right, cool, got it. I didn't get caught. Also, the most unique feature in this game is the philanthropy option. You have a lot of things that you can do with your money, such as fund efforts to eradicate polio or malaria or cancer even. These do cost a lot of money though, so yeah, you gotta play a lot to get these. Anyways, on to the categories. This game is going to get an ad intrusion rating of 3 out of 3. I tried playing this game earlier with Wi-Fi on and I didn't seem to get any ads whatsoever, so that is perfect. In fact, if you wanted to find an ad, you have to literally click this button here, watch ad for bonus in the settings, so that is awesome. Next up is the paywall rating, and this one is going to get a 3 out of 3 because pretty much everything in the game is unlocked from the beginning for free. The only things I can see is like moving to France or Spain or Japan, but you can still move to Canada and China without buying anything. There are microtransactions, but most of them just give boosts and stuff. So there is a sandbox mode though, so that is something that people love to play with in video games. So none of these microtransactions are really needed though to experience the full game, so that's why this is going to get a paywall rating of 3 out of 3. Next up is the ease of play, and this one is going to get a 2 out of 3 like Life Simulator 3 because it takes a lot to get into this and manage everything well. It does get very challenging to know all of your expenses and incomes and all that, while simultaneously making sure that your stats are up because they do go down each time you click an action. Every time you tap something, like let's say I wanted to learn French, $250, 1 week goes by, and if I don't have subscriptions and stuff to keep my stats up, then it's just gonna keep going down, and then I would have to constantly just come over here to like the doctor's office or self-treat myself a few times, and it just gets a little tedious sometimes. So that's why ease of play is at a 2 out of 3. But if you love the challenge and want something that's gonna actually make you manage many parts of your life, probably more than any of the life simulators, then this game is definitely gonna be your favorite. Anyways, the last category is going to be the UI, and this one's also gonna be a 2 out of 3 because although it does look super nice, everything does fit very well. It's not a copycat of Bitlife. The only thing wrong with it is that sometimes whenever you go to these tabs, you have to scroll down a long time to find what you want, and that does get pretty annoying sometimes. So 2 out of 3 on the UI. So with a feature score of 43 and a total of 12 on the categories, this game is going to get a 55. For me personally, I can see why this one has the highest score so far. Anyways, last but not least in the review, Bitlife. How does Bitlife stack up against the other games that we've reviewed so far? Well, I'll have you guys know that it does have the most amount of unique features, but it also does not have some simple features that all of the other games probably have. I think I'll have a link to the spreadsheet in the description below if I can do that for you guys. But in total, I did count 46 out of 83 features. simulators, so Bitlife does have the #1 spot in terms of features. I don't really have to point anything out to you guys in this game because we've all played this before, probably more than any of the other ones. But on to the categories, which is where this game suffers the most. #1, ad intrusion rating, it's gonna get a 1 out of 3 because yeah, there's that giant banner on the bottom, and on top of that, there are ads that show up all the time. Also, whenever you want to sign up for social media, you have to share it with your friends. Like, are you kidding me? That is super annoying. Also, airplane mode doesn't even help because you'll still get some ads. I'm pretty sure you get some dog life ads. That's what I got today when I was reviewing this. Next up is the paywall rating, and this also is going to be the only game on the list with a 1 out of 3. There is just way too much stuff hidden behind Bitizin, as well as the new boss mode microtransactions. Some people say that I'm crying and whining about the microtransactions, but you don't see me whining about Gmode because Gmode is an actual good microtransaction because it doesn't unlock anything new in the game. It just makes the game better. The developers aren't really forcing you to buy Gmode. Anyways, next up is the reward system, and this is also going to get a 1 out of 3. You get absolutely nothing for playing the game more. You get nothing for completing the achievements, and as you can see here with the latest update, it is lagging for the first time ever on this device. What the heck is going on? You get nothing for completing careers. You get nothing for completing the ribbons. The only thing that you can consider a reward is completing challenges, and you do get some accessories, but these are completely useless. And of course, the last category is the user interface, and that's going to get an easy 3 out of 3. This game looks great and it feels great, and it's the reason why so many games have tried to copy off of it. So with a feature score of 46 and a miserable category score of 9 out of 15, this is going to get a 55. This means that Bitlife and the Realistic Life Simulator are tied for first place, but that does not at all mean that the ones behind them are not worth playing. In fact, I think all of them are worth playing because each have their own exclusive features that none of the other games have. Anyways, onto some games that have less than 100,000 downloads but are still worth looking out for. The first one is obviously Enclaver. I've played this a few times on the channel. This one has a 3D open world. You can straight up just carjack and drive around these cars. Watch this. Never mind. I don't just have, oh, I died. Okay, see, okay. I didn't think that happened in the last version of the game. You could just steal every car. Another honorable mention is the ultimate real life simulator. This one has a ton of features as well, like business. In fact, it's the only business feature which actually forces you to pick what materials you're gonna buy and then make those materials into products and then sell them. So it is pretty in-depth. This one also is slightly an idle game because time does pass by automatically. There is also StarLife, where you live in outer space and you can buy ray guns and stuff, spaceships, droids, plasma guns. You can become a bounty hunter. This one's pretty unique. There is also Ancient Life. This one, you live in ancient times and do ancient type activities. I'm gonna be honest, I haven't played this one that much, but it does look pretty deep and interesting. Keep on the lookout for MobileLife. This one dropped a few days ago in the beta, and it looks pretty promising. It has some stuff that even Bitlife does not have to this day. A unique thing about this game is that you age by season. As you can see, winter, spring, summer, fall. Also, there's Life Simulator RPG, and this one you go day by day, and you have to remember to drink stuff like water to keep your health up. So it seems like you'd have to pay a lot of attention to your character in this one. There is also Nirvana Game of Life, and this one is super unique because as you age up, you just swipe right and left to all these scenarios, and depending on your reaction, you know, some stats might go up, some stats might go down. If this one looks good to you, definitely give it a shot. I haven't tried it that much though. I'm up to 23 years old with Drip Johnson Jr. Also, be on the lookout for Vexlife X. I think this one has a pretty nice UI. The original Vexlife is not being worked on anymore because the developer is moving on to Unity to create an even better version of the game. If this one looks interesting to you, definitely be on the lookout for it. And there is also RanLife. A cool feature about this game is that you can customize the UI colors. The UI itself though is a tad bit rough, but I wish that feature was in every game. But they do have politics, career, business, music, athlete, criminal. You can even see what political party is in control of your country. So that's cool. It really does though have this old school kind of feel, you know, for a text-based life simulator game. So today we found out that Bitlife is not really the best life simulator game. It's a bit more complicated than that. A lot of other games have way more unique and in-depth features for free. So hopefully this helped you guys out with picking an alternative to Bitlife. Also comment down below which game is your favorite out of all of these besides Bitlife, unless you really want to say Bitlife if it's still your favorite at this point. All right, so if you've stuck around this long in the video, you might want to know how I did all of this research and playing all these different games and kept track on which games had which features. Basically, I just started playing Bitlife, for example, and then just started adding all of the features that I could count within the game. And then I just went on to Altlife and then did the same exact thing and added on the other features that the game had and did it for the other 3 as well. And I even did it with some games that weren't in these top 5. For example, if you scroll down here, like I said earlier in the video, I did the same thing with Enclaver and a few of the other life simulators. For example, I have this open world and 3D graphics feature, and none of the top 5 life simulators have that. So as you can see, it is all zeros for these 2 sections, for those 2 features. So if the game had a feature, then I put a 1 in the box, and if it did not, I put a 0. And then of course I had a function here, you know, with the sum of all of the numbers above to get the feature counts. And then for the categories, I made this out of 3 points instead of just 1 because these have a much larger impact on the game. Like another life simulator clearly does not have as many features as the other ones, but it really is one of the more fun ones to play, and it really shows that when you get to the category section because it got the highest score with a 93% or 14 out of 15. Also on the right side here, we have the number of games with the feature. So if it has 5, that means all of the games have this feature. I also did not take into account which feature within each game is better. Like I'm pretty sure most of the features within Life Simulator 3 aren't as good as in any of the other games, simply because it's just simulated and there's not too much interaction with each, you know, there's no really scenarios with all of the jobs that you have or whatever you do. But the fact that there is so many options in that game might have inflated this number a little bit because it did technically get 2nd place here. But I would say that it is in last place though in terms of overall like interactivity, because sometimes you'll play that game and it really does feel like you're pressing the same buttons over and over again, even if you were taking different career paths and stuff. Anyways, do what you will with this spreadsheet. I'm not sure which one is the best. Obviously we've played Bitlife the most on the channel. Altlife does seem pretty fun though. There are a ton of achievements in that game as well. Same with Another Life and Realistic Life Simulator. I also have the honorable mentions down here as well. Comment down below if there are any other games that, you know, anything. I think I already said that earlier in the video though. Anyways, this video took the longest amount of time to make out of any of the videos on my channel by far. So make sure you leave a like. If this helped you out, please leave a comment as well so we can get boosted in the algorithm. I really hope that this video gets a lot of views so that all my hard work pays off. Also, next year around this time, I might make this same exact video again, but you know, the games hopefully have updated since then, and we'll see how this, you know, this changes over time. And we might have some other competitors as well. Like some games might get up to 100,000 downloads. I'm making 100,000 downloads a requirement because, you know, that's a decent requirement and not too many games have made it, because if I were to do this review with every single game, you know, I can't play that many games. But I did my best for this video, so that's gonna be it for today. I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching all the way through. Remember, it could be anyone.